Yo, Astro family. Yo, Astro family. What is going on, peoples? Ah, aside of the regular season ending, regular season in NBA is done, peoples, and we are here to hype up the postseason. We got some interesting matchups. We have some pre-postseason drama in terms of fighting for seeds or not fighting that hard for seeds. We get into it, but hey, the season is done and we getting ready for some big series games. As always, people, you gotta check in with my bros because without them, we can't really run the show the way the show does run and have as much fun as we usually do. So with that said, I want to know how excited you guys are for the postseason because it looking nice. The matchup set up real nice this year. So how you feeling for this postseason, Ray?
I've been ready for the postseason for the past 3 weeks. I can tell you a single thing. I was waiting for Sunday. I sit down and watch as much games as I could watch Sunday. I just
Yeah.
wanted to know really who the seeding was going to be. It had to come down break to the wire. If it didn't take don't break down to the wire, probably been watching these last games. But as we talked about last week, the seeding come right down to the wire, playoff for the playoff matchups, for the playing matchups, everything. And obviously with the playing, we still waiting to see who the 7 and 8 seed are going to be in both conferences. So I've been ready. Uh, I am extremely excited, and I think this is going to be one of the best postseasons we've seen in the NBA in a long time, in a really, really long
Mm,
time. So
yeah.
looking forward to it all.
Nice, nice. So what you Hawks, man? You excited for this postseason or what?
I am
Your
excited,
boys got a
excited.
chance.
Boy, I be hoping, I be praying, I be looking at the stats, I be saying which team we in play. I feel right now, I feel happy with with Pelicans, but so I believe they could get once they get past the Pelicans, they got a shot. But I ain't getting to that whole theory. There's a whole theory behind it. Should they win? Should they lose? There's a whole theory. But for right now, I'm excited. I was similar to everyone. I was just like trying to see who's going to finish what in what position from the third seed straight to the eighth seed, ninth seed, and I was like
Yeah.
one game. Who's going to get the first place over in the West? Can the Nuggets do it? Is the Thunder going to get it? If Thunder and the Nuggets win, then can I was just like, look at this. So I'm
The
happy.
drama,
No,
man, the
it's
excitement.
too much drama. I can't remember the last time there was a season I was this close in seeding that came onto the wire like this. So I was just checking my phone every when it's time to play. I was just checking my phone, making sure everything was good. So oh Lord, yeah, it was. I am ready. I am ready.
That's good, man. Look, hey, peoples, if you're in this stream, I don't gotta tell you too much times, but listen, hit that like button because we about to get into it. We about to get into it, people. So look, check this out. The last day of the regular season was crazy. Crazy things happening. Some of them not too far fetched, but Suns dismantling Wolves, huh? No, that was a little bit too touchy for me. I didn't really believe that that happened. And then you had the Thunder getting number one seed in last week's topics or discussion. We didn't even mention OKC being number one. It was like Wolves or Nuggets.
Yeah,
Here you go, Thunder strikes once again. And then you had Bucks losing to the Nets. Like so much things happen on the last day. So we can get into it right on. Let me talk about the Thunder getting the number one seed. Super close seeding in the West. Like we said before, is the well West.
Mm-hmm.
Who would have thought that three teams would have had the same um what you call it record
Same
in the
record.
regular
Yep.
season?
Just on the final day of the regular season. I gotta say this about the Timberwolves specifically. They always find themselves in some sort of tiebreaker situation. A couple of years back against the Nuggets,
Hmm.
when before the playing, they had their own version of the playing game on the 82nd game of the season as well, and send the Nuggets home. Uh, never again since then, but sending Nuggets home that year, and I feel like it will always find itself in a spot like this. But anyway, uh, I think for the Thunder, I said earlier this season, and
Yeah.
I don't know if this MVP discussion is going to change. I know it started with the MVP. That's not the topic in question, but I said if the Thunder get the number one seed, she might just win the MVP, and they came out and did it. So I'm interested to see where the MVP votes are going to go. I feel like over the last week, there's been a lot of there's a lot more diversity in the discussion. It doesn't feel like Jokic is the clear cut favorite. I heard a lot of talking heads mention Luca a lot recently. Some of them even
Yeah.
mention shit. So we see where that goes.
Deserving
But
athletes.
he is a three of them had three individual MVP seasons alone. But moving off of that, looking at the Thunder specifically, they became the
Mhm.
youngest team ever in NBA history to get a number one seed, which is a phenomenal feat. Me
Yep.
personally, from our discussion last week, I didn't think that they were anywhere close to solidifying the seed. I figured I was so certain that the Nuggets were going to get it after they beat the Wolves last week and
Yeah.
had it locked up. But Victor Wembanyama had something to say about that on Friday against the Nuggets when he, you know, give them a heartbreaking loss by 1 point. Came out had 17
Yeah.
straight points in 3 minutes. That boy is something different. But the Thunder were there right in striking distance. They haven't had the best last 2 weeks or so of the season because she had been out to the lineup for a little while. But they came in and swooped the number one seed right up. So shout out to them for having an absolutely phenomenal season. Top five in offense and top five in defense. I
Mhm.
just have a strong belief that going on into the postseason, well, I guess we kind of hearing it already. A lot of people don't expect them to go very far, but one of the great signals of
Hmm.
a great team is top five offense, top five defense, and that usually propels those types of teams pretty far in the playoffs. So we'll see how it goes. But again, shout out to them for taking the number one seed.
Hey, listen, man. This Thunder team got potential, and I won't count
Mhm.
them out. We already see what happened in the tournament in season tournament earlier with the Pacers. Don't count out these young bucks, man.
Mhm.
These teams should have what it takes
these
to get far enough.
these young bucks, Thunderbolts. But as to what you said, I feel as if like you can't count out the Thunder right now. They have more than they have loads of potential right now. As I said, one of the youngest teams, if not the youngest team in NBA.
Second
I'm
youngest team in
excited.
NBA.
Second youngest team. I'm excited to see where their path can go. Clearly, the organization has an eye for. We've talked about this time and time again. They have an eye for scouting talent and bringing a solid team together that really is able to contend for championships. Now, let me not get ahead of myself. They haven't made it past the first rounders yet. They just know entering the playoffs. They know getting their feet wet. But
Mhm.
as far as it goes in clinching the number one seed, kudos to them. I didn't think they could do it. My bet was on the Timberwolves, once the Bulls won that game against the Nuggets, I was saying they're going to go for number one seed, and anything else could happen after that. But the Thunder, they've been resilient. They've had their star players. They have a well-rounded team. I mean, they, it's hard to say you got your number one seed as a fluke. Clearly,
Mhm.
they
Hey,
they
guys
you
work
know
hard for that.
they've worked hard. They put in the work. So I say kudos to them. I'm not excited to really see what they can do in the playoffs. Uh, they're a very inexperienced team, so normally the teams who go far in the playoff are normally the most more seasoned teams. But I mean, this team has been resilient all year round. I believe that they can get it done. It's all about favorable matchups. So they could either play for their since they're the number one seed. They could either play the loser of they could play between the Kings, Warriors, or the loser between Pelicans and Lakers. you know they could take the chances. Honestly, I think they have a good chance against any of those teams. I think the Lakers and the Pelicans, because they have bigger players, might be more of a threat to them. But generally speaking, I like their chances against all those teams. Obviously, I want like if Lakers do finish in the AFC, like Lakers to win. No doubt about that. But what the Thunder did their thing. They did their thing. I'm happy for them.
Hey, if Lakers win, they got to face Nuggets, and I don't see them going past there. So you
We
better
ain't get
hope
to
that they
that.
lose this first game.
I've been watching the videos and thinking, what should they do? It's like you don't want to take the chance and lose that game, but then you go home early. But some people have been saying, some analysts have been saying, that may be the better road to take. You gotta take that risk versus reward. We probably get to that later, but yeah,
Yeah, send the Pelicans to the Nuggets, man. See what happens.
that would be a matchup.
But yo, look, this is actually dicey because even Kings and Golden State is a pretty decent matchup as well. But we can get into that, and it'll be interesting to see who come out on top in that series. The Bucks, a team that has been mediocre in performance, but rather decent in terms of their record. It's been like we've been saying this all season long. Is their their record has not been telling of their performances at all as a team, as a whole unit. And just on the last day, we see the Knicks ease themselves into the number two seed in the East. Obviously, you got to give credit to Jalen Brunson as well. Like this man's been playing ball all season long. I'm actually very impressed. I think he's probably top five um, point guard in the NBA right now. What are your
Easily,
thoughts on that, guys?
easily, Jalen Brunson is top five. But back, let me start with the Bucks first. The Bucks in a predicament right now. Lost Giannis last week in the game, going down the injury. I haven't heard any reports about whether he's going to be back for the playoffs. So there's no updates on what's going on with Giannis. To be honest, I don't know if I missed something.
Hmm.
Probable, but they're in a tough spot, and they were in that. I watched that Magic Bucks game, and the Magic absolutely dismantled them. Like Magic got one of the best defenses of the NBA, and the Bucks. The only thing they could really lean their hat on is offense, and the Magic just took them right over to the game, ran them out the park, and Liam was on the court. Everybody, all the players that you expect to be there, except me, honest, was there. And you would think, well, yeah, these guys still got the pieces to, really find some rhythm heading into the playoffs and beat this Magic team. That was far from the case. They just look outmatched in that matchup. Yes, this is just a regular season game. I know the players are going to a step take a step forward in terms of their production and stuff like that heading into the postseason. But
Hmm.
given how the season has been going, they had to put some type of emphasis on this last game, especially given the fact that they played all of their players that they could have possibly played, all their best players that they could have possibly played too. Um, so it just looked kind of embarrassing, not gonna lie. They are no with that loss. They miss out on getting the 2 seed, keeping the 2 seed rather,
Yeah.
and now they have to face their regular season nemesis in the Indiana Pacers. So this is going to be a ding dong battle. Uh,
Yep. Offensive
I
battle
am
for
not
sure.
sure. Yeah, uh, this is one regular season matchup that I could see as kind of speak volumes heading into the postseason. Because at the end
Mhm.
of the day, like some teams might beat some teams bad based on different circumstances throughout the regular season. But
Yeah.
this Indiana Pacers versus Bucks matchups, they played up 5 times this season. That's the almost 70% of a series in the playoffs.
That's true.
And one of the big problems
That's
that
the
the
full
Bucks have
series
is
in
perimeter
places.
defense. Yeah, that's a gentleman's sweep right there. Um,
Yeah.
be noted the Bucks' problem is perimeter defense. They lost Drew Holiday, understood, and the Pacers
They
just
didn't
take
lose him.
over.
They
Well,
didn't
they
lose
got rid
him.
of him. Yes,
Right.
yes, they got
Let me
rid of him.
use the
But
right
you're right.
rhetoric.
To
Let
be
me
This
use
is
the
fair,
right.
right rhetoric.
to be fair, they would take that deal. Most GMs would take that deal 10 out of 10 times. To be fair,
Correct. I understand. I
yeah.
understand. But they can't stop the Indiana Pacers on defense whatsoever. They can't stop Tyrese Halliburton. What I can say that might be in their favor in that matchup though is Halliburton hasn't looked at that player that he was starting out the season. So if he's in the same kind of slump that he's been coming over the second half of the season, then they may have a chance. But if they get back that Tyrese Halliburton from the first half of the season, I am calling it no, saying it to the world. The Bucks are going home in the first round, and
All that work for
I
nothing.
I don't know if it's I don't know how close it's going to be. I'm not calling out Dame Lillard. Yes, they'll win some games. My prediction that they'll win some games because they do have decent pieces to play against the team. But I just feel like their perimeter defense is so shabby. The Pacers put up so much points. I don't think that they'll be able to keep pace. And the Bucks recipe for winning this year has been outscoring opponents. And who outscores Indiana Pacers? They put up 157 on in their final game of the season on the Atlanta Hawks. Like, come on, man. That team is something different, especially on offense. So it's going to be a tough uh, outing for the Bucks in the first round.
Dame got to wear two watches, buddy. They got the damn time on both hands. Because because if not, it's trouble. That's for sure.
I like
Any
that one.
thoughts on that front, Hakeem, in terms of Bucks losing to Knicks
To
and who
me,
they have
right?
to face in the Pacers?
To me, the Bucks season has been like an actual buck trying to cross an 8-lane highway at nighttime. Trouble, turbulence. Like there's been nothing good. They've been on a roller coaster,
Freeze
right?
up.
It frees up,
Yeah.
So I feel like I don't know what to say. Like the Bucks have had their issues. They've been plagued with issues from the jump of the start of the season. They had Giannis had to be Superman, legitimately the freak, the Greek freak, just to keep them in playoff contention early on the season. They still had a winning record. Further coach got Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers started off on a losing streak. People were questioning
River
him.
Drake.
Why is he River Dre? Dre. People even
Yeah.
wonder why is he back coaching? He should stick to
Mhm.
broadcasting. Then they went on a winning spell. Everyone's saying maybe Doc has found out the right rhythm, the right balance. The team is no progressing. Then they go back in a slump. Giannis got injured. I just feel that this team has been plagued with some serious problems, and it's probably more deep rooted than we actually understand or aware of. Um, but the Bucks finishing third and letting Knicks ease them out for the second seed. I mean, I can't even say I'm surprised. The Knicks have been playing well. Jalen Brunson has been balling since last season, but he's really elevated his game. I'm all in all, I'm happy for him. I'm happy for that team, especially for him to see that he was in Lucas' shadow. Now he's has his own team. He's performing. I hope Jordan Poole should take notes, but I'm just happy for the Knicks. The Bucks. I mean, as Reverend alluded, they've played these Pacers about 5 times this season, and they found it difficult, right? That is the regular season, and you can't really. It's not a fair indicator always. If I must say, at the end of the day, the Bucks are a seasoned team. They're technically a much improved team on paper with the addition of Damian Lillard. So I mean, like, it's been the man has a nickname DM time. For he has a nickname called DM time. There's a reason he is known as DM time. The man shows up when it counts. We've watched him carry the
Mhm.
Trailblazers to the Western Conference Finals before. I mean, he can get it done. So I mean, I'm not gonna call Bucks just because they've been in a slump. You're gonna create a game plan. You have the same team now for possibly 7 games. For the minimum, you're gonna find a strategy. You're gonna try to neutralize their best players. You're gonna maybe get more physical. Therese Halliburton has been struggling since the All Star game. I think me personally, I think he rushed his return from injury too soon
Injury.
to
Yeah, I agree.
just to make that 65 game quota to bring home the bag. I think that's been
Mhm.
costing him a game, so he might be playing under duress to a certain extent. But I think honestly speaking, I think the Bucks have a pretty good matchup right now. If they were to be the second seed, they could potentially get the 76ers or the Heat. And I mean, yeah, the 76ers are the only reason the 76ers are in seventh right now is because they lost Joel Embiid to that injury. So I mean, like, that's a tough matchup. So I think the Bucks might have done the right thing. I think they might be saying, we'll take our chance with the Pacers, an experienced team. These new guys, they're new on the block. They might not know what's going on. They might take a chance.
Mhm.
So I think the Bucks would prefer the matchup. They're gonna create a game plan. At the end of the Doc Rivers, he's been known to lose some big series at the worst times, but he's also known to normally get past the first round. So I mean, he finds a way. And he's still a good coach at any day.
That's
So
so encouraging.
he's losing. His reputation is known in Eastern Conference Finals. The man is choking the Eastern Conference Finals, or maybe the second round, but really the Eastern Conference Finals. Like, come
Mhm.
on, we would expect a veteran coach like Doc
You mean
Rivers,
The Western Conference Finals.
or Western Conference Finals. Yes,
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
he knows how to get past a first round. So I mean, I go with the Bucks, to be honest. So I go with the Bucks to win this series. It might not be an easy series, especially if Giannis is still recovering or has his issues. So if this thing is like a calf injury, but it could potentially lead to the Achilles tendon. So I mean, all in all, we're gonna kind of group that in one. But I still got the
Mhm.
Bucks to come out, even if they take seven games. I still got the Bucks to come out on top.
Yeah,
Maybe
the only
maybe
way the Bucks.
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I just saying the only way the Bucks get out of this is if Giannis is back. Despite them losing the season series, and as you say, yes, I too believe that the regular season series is not a grand indicator of how it will actually be in the playoffs. But as I say, this one I take with a little bit more emphasis than most. Um, With that said, Giannis has been dominant against them, in pretty much most of the games. I'm pretty sure he had like 250-point games against them as well. So if they could get Giannis back, they got that's to me that they'll be fine. They should be fine to win the series. If not, I go in with the Pacers.
I hear a lot of
Hey,
if then statements. You're doing programming
No,
today,
no,
right?
no. If that statement is one if,
the program.
there's one if. There's
How
literally
you
one if.
programming?
If Giannis, if Giannis is there, and you could say that Giannis is such a big part of the team. If
Yeah.
Giannis is available to play, sure.
You don't feel
If
DM
not,
1-on-1 against Tyrese could take the team, can take the win, get the win. I mean, DM has done more with less on the squad. You don't feel DM could pull it off by himself.
I think this series is going to come down to who is going to play more defense than who. With Giannis out, one of their
Right.
better to best defenders, I don't see who's going to pick up the defensive spot that Giannis takes on that end when the day come. To be honest, especially they don't got anybody on the perimeter, then they don't got any
Bobby
big
Porter.
forwards or well, Bobby
They need
Porter's one.
Lopez in there.
They got Lopez, but
I bet
Lopez can
you
only do
Bobby
so much by
Porter's go
himself.
off. I bet you Bobby Porter's go off.
On
At least
defense,
in the
no.
first two games.
On
No, no,
offense,
no, 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 no.
maybe.
Offense. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Offense. Not no, not defense. But yeah,
So
finish
I
your
think it
point
comes down
about
to
defense.
yeah, I think it comes down to who could guard each other um the best to some extent. And without Giannis, I personally don't see the Bucks being able to guard many people on the whole. Damian Lillard is not going to carry the load on defense. Patrick Beverly, even though he's known as a defensive player, his time has passed as one of those, super
Yeah.
duper impactful defensive players. Malik Beasley is a corn. But Tyrese Halliburton loves to play against Malik Beasley.
Facts.
Um, Pat Connaughton, he can't guard nobody. Chris Middleton, maybe, but I don't really find that he's had as much impact. Jay Crowder used to be a
Yeah.
solid defender. I don't know what's happened to him. Like their whole perimeter defense is just in a whack to me. I don't see how they
Crowder's
overcome
probably
that.
a systematic defensive player and not like a
Yeah,
nice offensive player.
but even
And
then with the
you don't got a
system, you
clue
need
what's
the
going
other.
on like Bucks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in the system, you need the other your teammates to perform well. And if you don't got any good defenders outside of you on the perimeter, then how are you going to hold up? So I feel like the Sixers, the Pacers have a better chance. They do have a few defensive players that come to mind. Miles Turner, Pascal Siakam, Aaron Neesmith that could cause some trouble and maybe give them defensive edge.
Okay.
That's interesting. And I like the point Hakim made about the fact that Tyrese has been in a little bit of a slump recently, that Bucks might be better off or have a better chance in this one. So that's that's a good thought there as well. Um, no, right now the Pelicans got to play the Lakers, and this is all because last week the bracket has looked a lot different. Suns was out there on the edge looking in, and Pelicans gave it up to the Suns, and now Suns are in, and Suns are playing the Timberwolves, which they beat quite
You
recently. Quite recently. Yeah, go ahead, Hakim.
know what's funny, Hans? As you were talking, right? I just remembered Devin Booker put it on his Instagram page saying, "We need Lakers to do the business. We need Lakers to beat the Pelicans so we can ease up to the sixth seed to go to the play tournament." And I was like, "Man, brother, you should have done this for yourself when you had the chance." But we took care of
Hey,
business.
you got the
We took
help.
care of
Yeah.
business. He was one
But
though.
that's
He didn't need the help.
uh,
Say
hey,
what
my aunt's for it though, so
you asked for it.
I
You
get
put it on
it.
the page. Put it on the gram.
But
We got a
Pelicans
quick.
though,
We got
Pelicans a team. Hmm.
yeah, we shout out to Codes in the chat. We got a quick one here from Codes saying Bucks lose the series based on Dot Rivers poor decision making. I hear reading a whole bunch of folly. They have the pieces to get past the Pacers, but Dot loses it. Um, man, I give Dot the benefit of the doubt as a coach. I think he has a okay track record, as Hakeem said, coming out to the first round. He can at least get used to that most of the time.
Yeah.
But
And
but
then for the or for a conference final can be shaky.
mhm. um,
Yeah, we shall see.
we
But
shall
back to
see.
back to Lakers and Pelicans. Who y'all got to come out of this series? Because it seems like we said earlier, Lakers' best chance might be to lose this for a series and not have to face the defending champs, and probably put Pelicans in that predicament and give themselves a better fighting chance of making it into the third round at least. So or I should say at most, because after that it started to get a little bit dicey for the Lakers. But tell me what you guys think about that matchup, and I guess Pelicans' part in having to play Lakers now to fight their way back in.
All right. So what I will say, right? First, I'm gonna start off saying I am just flabbergasted by the fact that the Pelicans let the Lakers beat them so bad. I mean, Lakers played well. Don't get me wrong. Lakers were balling, but you lost the Lakers, so they're gonna go play them again in the playing tournament when you could at least take care of bit. At least try to make it more competitive. Take care of business to get to get out of the playing tournament. Save yourself a
It might be
game.
a dummy,
Get some rest. Like I
It
don't
might be a
understand.
dummy loss.
But you
It
finish the
might be
sit.
to get your confidence up and then just
They
destroy you all.
That's crazy because they didn't lose no. But
flatten,
if
flatten
they
you
had
all.
won that match, they would have been playing
Yeah,
the Timberwolves. But off of that, I got the Lakers to beat the
you will
Pelicans. I
lose that
mean,
too.
let me know. I have the Lakers to win. I think obviously they're more than capable to win. Clearly they dismantled the Pelicans just last week. So that's the second time that happened for the season. So I like my chances of the Lakers winning. I know AD had a I think AD went up early where you can correct me for a slight injury. I'm not sure how bad it is, how severe it is.
Yeah,
But
it's supposed to be back spasms, but I
well,
don't think there's not a lot
My
of
back tripping out.
noise
Let
around
you
it
know,
that says
man.
that it's something that he can't play tomorrow. So
yeah, 'cause I
I,
mean
I he'll
that
probably
sounds
play.
like along his scope, along his scope of injuries. That's not too
Mm.
bad. I could live with back spasms. So that's not good. I've had it,
No,
you-
back
I
spasms ain't
say,
good at all. But
what? I
yeah,
say he could live
yeah,
with a back
but
spasm.
but I same time, AD, it can look, that's better than a sprained ankle. You know what I'm saying, or a grade two tear. But the question that I have: if the Lakers were to lose to the Pelicans, not tank, actually lose, and then we have to play the winners between the Kings and the Warriors, a must-win match to guarantee an AF seed. I don't want to let my chances. To be honest, it's too risky.
I was just gonna tell you,
It's too much of a risk
the
because
Lakers.
we could. Yeah, I think we're more than capable of beating both of those teams. We may have to lock in. But at the same time, and we still have home court advantage. But with the Warriors and Steph Curry shooting, it's unpredictable. You don't know if he's
Yeah,
gonna
and it's
gonna
only
do
one game.
30, 40. Yeah, exactly. And he can
You see
easily turn
last
up
week what
and start
happened?
splashing. Yeah, and start splashing, and then you can't do nothing about it. You're going home prematurely because of what? You didn't take a game seriously against the Pelicans. And then even the Kings, yeah, the Kings are in the name seat, but they're an explosive young team. They have a good coach. And I would not let my chances against them as well too. De'Aaron Fox. I mean, it's just too risky for me. If they had a fortune ball and they could say, "Yeah, we gonna lose against the Pelicans, but we guarantee a win," I'll take my chances. I will take my chances and rather play Thunder than play Nuggets, cause we know what the Nuggets stand for.
Bro,
The Nuggets are
all paths for the Lakers right now lead to dismantlement. I
nah.
don't know if that's a word, but
I
all,
would, I
all
would,
paths, all,
I would
all
definitely take my
paths leads
chances
to.
against
Bro,
the.
y'all not getting too far this year. I
I
sorry.
can't say that.
I sorry.
Anything can happen. I still think
Well,
I think there
yes,
was.
I
I think
understand you
there
have hope,
we were still what is it, about
hopeful.
10 games over 12 games above 500. We are a good team statistically speaking. The Lakers are a good team. They are still capable of
Y'all
getting.
be coached
And the last two
by
weeks they've been playing back as well as any other team in the NBA, right? But I just
the
don't
next
like
two
my
games y'all
chances.
play. Y'all gonna be coached. Trust me.
I just don't like my chances against the Nuggets. But I I'll take my chances with the Nuggets against going home. I don't want a one game sudden death match against the Kings or Warriors. It's too much on the line. I'd rather fight seven
Yeah.
games. Let's start with 4 games first. You don't want to get swept, but you start with the 4 games. Take a game at a time. Get a win at the Dot.com arena. Maybe get two. I think you know what I'm saying. Like
Hopeful.
you
Hopeful.
try.
Yeah. Yeah.
You try.
Sound
At
good.
least at least you get 4 games to figure out something. Figure out a game plan. So my bet
4 games to
beat
figure out,
beat
but he take the fourth game, but he is all over.
hey. We
Can't
done
take too
three
long.
3-1. We still come back. You know what I'm saying? So it's not over until it's over. But
Come back for the
all right,
final game.
all in all, I'll take my chances with the Nuggets. So let's go and beat the Pelicans. Let's go to New Orleans, do the business. Get that southern food for the road trip back home, and then
Hmm.
go and play Nuggets.
I can predict Lakers because I know when they do, they can lose. So might as well help the situation.
Okay, hitter man.
every time, every every time I predict Lakers, Lakers lose. So yeah, everyone. Any thoughts on Pelican Lakers? You think they got any chance?
Straight off the bat, just give my prediction. I take the Lakers to win this matchup. Um, again, we don't have. I don't want to too much into the regular season games, but it does play a factor. A maybe not as big of a factor as people would expect, but I don't think number one, I don't think the Pelicans are going to play like that game on Sunday. That's for sure. They're not going to
Mm-hmm.
come on and get beat by the Lakers just like that again. They got to find some way. They had last night to think about it. This whole day to think about it again. Tomorrow up to before the game to think about it. So the better be ready to play. Um, come tomorrow. But I still think ultimately the Lakers have LeBron James on their side, one of the best
Brian
basketball players
James.
to ever play, and I would not bet against LeBron in a single game elimination single game elimination game whatsoever. So
Yeah.
LeBron is it. Zion needs to come out and play like his life depends on it. To be honest, uh,
Yeah.
he already saw the slot he got for the in-season tournament performance. I don't think he wants to repeat that again. So I'm pretty sure that he come out firing. He's going to be fired up for this game. The only thing is Brandon Ingram just came back from an injury. Could have played a part in them looking as poor as they had in that game. Maybe I don't know. I don't know how much thought I put into that being the reason, but those are some factors as well that could have contributed to the Pelicans playing so poorly. But I just don't think they're going to repeat the same thing in this game coming up tomorrow night. But my money is on the Lakers. LeBron, I bet on LeBron in a single elimination. I don't want
Yeah.
him to. And as Haki was saying before he finished, I don't want him to go on and play any of those teams. I wouldn't want the Lakers to play any of those teams because might be saying, "Oh, home on the coach," as Han say, if they lose this game to the Pelicans. I just personally feel against the Kings or the Warriors that is a dangerous matchup because
Yeah.
I don't think they'll be able
They're explosive
to match
teams.
up with their firepower. Yeah, they could
Yeah,
just
they're
The
at
pace
any
explosive.
is
point.
fast, bro.
Yeah, yeah. So like stylistically, that's not a good matchup for them in a single elimination type of game for me.
I
So
agree. I
they
agree
better take care of
wholeheartedly.
business against the Pelicans
I agree.
tomorrow night.
But there's one thing I would say too that I add on to that. In terms of the Pelicans, I mean, I want Lakers to win, of course, against the Pelicans, but I would like to see Zion in the playoffs. I don't think he's been in the playoffs before, has he? This will be his
No,
first. He's been in once. He was once before last season.
no. The Pelicans were in the playoff, but he was injured.
Yeah, he
Okay,
was
yeah.
So
out.
So,
they
so,
played
it's,
the
so I'm so
Suns.
correct. So yes, this will be his
They played
first
the Suns last
playoff
season.
series. So honestly, he's had a good season, and I would honestly like to see Zion in the playoffs and see what he can do in the playoffs. He's been around the league for a couple of years now. It's about time to get the action and get in the playoffs. So I would honestly like his team to finish eighth. Sorry, Curry. I'm sorry, the Air Force, but I would like Zion to get in.
I would that too because
Why
I
say
feel
sorry like
on the
that?
on the flip side of it, I feel like if the Pelicans do lose, I would prefer them to play against the Kings or the Warriors. I feel like they are a better matchup for those teams. Stylistically, they find a way to dominate those types of teams based on what I've seen throughout the regular season. Uh, Not looking at their individual matchups for each team specifically, but that if they take that archetype team like like the Warriors, the Kings, they're kind of similar in some extent to some extent. The Thunder,
Yeah.
uh, like teams that are predicated on guard play, the Pelicans have pretty good success against them, and not those teams don't really have but like a big interior presence. So Pelicans are pretty fine against those.
All right.
Hey, I got Lakers to win, but I only put in $2 on Lakers. I could afford to lose $2, so that's fine by me.
So a
um,
Lakers full suite in front of me.
yeah.
Yep.
Ramon, how you feel about the Suns burning out the Wolves though? Like that's that's not
Um,
what usual. I think that was probably
Again,
a shocker for last week too.
yeah, this specific matchup, just like the Pacers season series, I put a little bit more thought into this because the Suns dismantle the Warriors in every. I mean, the Suns dismantle the Wolves in every single game they played. They played 3 games. Suns went 3-0 against the Wolves, and the
Mhm.
Edwards averaged 14 points a game in that season series for this season. Right?
Yeah.
Or the Wolves just didn't have an answer for them. Yes, why I don't put too much thought in it still. The first game they come off a back to back against. That's when the game. That was the game right after Rudy Gobert get put in a headlock by Draymond. Um, the game, the game before the Sunday's game, which was a game like maybe a week or two ago, the Cat wasn't playing. This game, Cat there's only Cat's second game back from injury. Like that's another factor to play. Yes, that's probably not that big of a factor, but like for the regular season, I feel like there's so much variables that could change how a way a team would win or a way a team would not win. Um, but I am just the fashion in which they have lost has been surprising to me. I feel like the Wolves have been one of those teams that has been scrappy and that has had a lot of fight. And in all of these games against the Suns, they haven't put up much of a fight. And I can't say it's something they weren't trying, but it didn't amount to anything because Bradley B was getting whatever he wanted before he had like 38 points, 36 points. And they missed a 3-point shot. He was like 6 for 6 from the tree. I didn't see anybody put resistance on him. KD and Booker had pretty mediocre games for their standard, and it was still a complete wash off. So it's extremely intriguing and extremely interesting, though, that they're going to be facing each other in a 7-game series, given
Yep.
this history, especially for the Wolves. Because no, they gotta go and they gotta spend this whole week doing a bunch of homework on what they could possibly do. They gotta be in the lab experimenting, doing all sorts of things to figure out because they have nothing
Yep.
to go off of from the regular season to say, all right, this is something that look promising. Maybe we could do this. So Wolves kind of in a bad spot in that regard, but I don't think it's going to be a replica of the regular season because there's no way Anthony Edwards is going to be averaging 14 points in the playoffs. That's for sure. Um,
Mhm.
there's no way that they're not going to be playing better defensively in terms of intensity and like you could see that visual want factor to compete. So I think it's going to be a different ball game. A lot of people are calling him out the Wolves already. A lot of people have the Suns favorites to win this matchup, but I think it's going to be a lot closer than most people expect.
Yeah. Closer don't mean that the outcome can be the same, you know. Just so you know.
That's
Well,
how they would
well, let me see. All
drop
right,
the gavel.
why I say closer is because it's been overwhelming the response of people that are saying, "All right, that's a wrap for the Wolves. See you next year." Um, then we got a chance. I don't think that is the case whatsoever. Like they gotta put some more respect on the Wolves' names, man. I mean,
I see
I sense a
truthfully,
little
they don't
bias
really deserve
there.
it because they ain't play well. Yeah,
I see
that's
two,
fair. That's
two
fine.
guys in this lobby right now that really hoping for their teams to come true. Really hoping for their teams to shine through and get somewhere where they think they deserve to be. But on one hand, one man just too hopeful. On the other hand, one man got legit reasons, but the outcome will be the same. I'm telling you guys. Sorry,
All right, so
Wolves, but hey, I feel I feel Suns got your number. I think Suns got your number. They got something to play for, and right now, we know regular season was just battles. When you get into playoff um realm, this is
it's a
war.
war.
This
Mhm.
is strategic. This is everything. I mean, we just gotta hope that we get an injury free series that'll make it more exciting. But I think if all goes to plan, I think the sniper can come out. Well, y'all ain't gonna see the sniper. The sniper can just do his thing.
This
Sniper
sniper
can
has to
come
go
out.
for eye. This sniper has missed his last two eye tests. I don't know if his eyes
Hey,
are still working the same. To be honest.
bare head shots come this series. Telling you, pure pure head shots. And then we saw that Cavs lose on purpose for the seeding, but to me was funny enough is that they gonna play a pretty good team. So I don't know if it would have mattered too much to them who they had to play. Rayvon, you got any different thoughts on that? Because I think Magic is a dangerous team to play against anyway.
Um, first of all, the Cavs should be ashamed. To be honest, It's very blatant their decision to essentially fall in the standings. They had the opportunity to go as high as two. They said, "Nah,
Mhm.
we don't want to seed. Let me sit all these starting players, play the bench players, play the fourth stringers, not even the third stringers, the fourth stringers on the team, and lose to the Hornets." It was
Yeah.
quite terrible to see because
Mhm.
karma, karma ain't good, ain't gonna be good to you for that, boy. Um, look, I think because of their mentality that they had for this specific game, just to avoid the second seed, they
Yeah.
are now probably going to lose to the Magic in the first round.
Yeah.
For me, the Cavs have had that mentality to this signals to me we don't want to repeat of last year. Let's try to make it better. Let's try to at least get one round better. And the way to assure
Mhm.
that is to play a weaker team in quotation marks. I
Aiming
don't know
low
if the Magic.
already.
Yeah, yeah. You said if you go in there with that mentality, that's kind of a loser's mentality, to be honest.
For
If you go in
sure.
there with that mentality, then your outlook for the playoffs is going to be bleaky, 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 and I think that's ultimately what it signals to me.
They
I
lack the
hope they
I
lose. No,
confidence.
I
yeah, yeah. It's just that they've been believing in players because they should have put them players
Correct.
to play the normal amount player period rather get the number two seed if they
Mhm.
could have. I think they would have needed the Knicks to lose as well. But get the best seed possible so you could go out home court all throughout. But again, that just
I
signals to me that they ain't got as much confidence as they should heading into the playoffs.
Yeah.
let me I just say two things to this. I didn't touch on the this series and then probably go back to Timberwolves and Suns because I didn't finish my prediction. I said with the Timberwolves and Suns, but
Mhm.
on this situation with the Magic and the Cavs, well, we're the Cavs, I should say. I mean, you say it might be losing mentality, but one might say it's strategic. That is not a battle, it's a war. It's a marathon, not a sprint. The aim is to win a championship, not to win a first round only. So one might be saying, you know what? Let me rest my players. You know what? I like my odds against the Magic better to advance, but to give my players the best chance to get, find the rhythm in the playoff, to improve on our flaws, our imperfections, to hopefully have a better chance to get into the championship, right? The Eastern Conference Finals. So as you might be saying, they tanked. I see as it they rested their key players. They were going to beat the Hornet. They were going to. I mean, like
It's the same
they go.
thing. There's no difference whatsoever in that statement.
you know,
Hey, political correct.
but,
Politically correct.
but I need there, right? The
Yeah.
aim is to get past to win the championship. I think they're strategic. I'm not going to fault them for their process. At any day, we were all saying that we said with the Bucks. The Bucks to me has a better matchup against the Pacers than playing the 76ers, possibly the 76ers. Who would really want to play the 76ers as a first round matchup with Joel being in the lineup? Surely not any team with sense. Maybe the Celtics, because Celtics on that kind of smoke. But I know deep down the
Mhm.
Celtics was prefer to get easier first round match than to have to play the 76ers. So that being said, Cavaliers, I take off my hat to you. I think you have
That is
what it
terrible.
is. You have a strategic mindset, which I applaud. I'm hoping it pays you
That
dividends
mindset.
because I'm hoping it pays you dividends because at the same time it cannot pay you dividends, but we'll see how far you get. And I'll take
That
that
mindset is
matchup.
not championship
I'll, I'll
mindset
take
whatsoever, Hakim.
I'll take that
Hey,
I'll take that matchup 10 out of 10 times than playing
hey,
76ers.
we can meme you. We can
Ten
meme
out of
you
ten
when
times.
Magic destroy Cavaliers. I'll
I,
take that
I
matchup.
said if they lose, they lose. If they lose, they lose. But generally speaking, I would take that matchup 10 out of 10 times. That is the politically correct decision. That is the most uh, logical decision. There's a reason why teams tank for draft players. You're strategic. You're thinking long term, visionary. They made a business
Mm.
decision. I'm not gonna fault them for it. That's the way I see it. That's the way I see it. However, my outcome for that fixture, I am on the fence. That could go either way. I'm not gonna be. I'm not gonna tell you the truth. I've not watched either of these two teams play. I don't really like watching Cavs and the Magic play that much. But I try to tune in when I can. But I've not really watched these teams play. The Magic, I only thanks for this team. I want to see some good
Mhm.
basketball, a good competitive series. Hopefully, hopefully goes to seven games, and I'm here for it. I am here for it.
Quick thoughts on Suns and Timberwolves. I skip you.
Suns and Timberwolves.
Yeah.
I have a Timberwolves to win. To be honest, I believe as everyone was saying, the Suns have been destroying the Timberwolves all season long. But I do think the playoffs brings out a different animal. I think KD's been playing well this season, but I think the KD that we've grown to love over the years as being an efficient player in the post series, I just think when you bring a very good defensive player who's going to get physical with KD, I think it truly offsets his rhythm. The Suns team have not had a consistent lineup with a big three for quite some time. I'm not sure if Bradley Beal is back now, but is he back, Rayvon?
Yeah, I was saying he scored. He had
Yeah.
30, 36.
So yeah, so he'll be a back. I mean, I don't I don't know if that's gonna still offset the chemistry a little bit, but I do believe Timos has what it takes to take over the team. I think they're gonna be defense. They have two defensively good players and Carl Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert. The Suns are all offense for the most part. I think when Rudy elevates his game, where Carl Anthony Towns, if he's fairly healthy and he's able to play close to 100%, I think they're going to create a game plan to deal with those players, at least to offset those players. I believe Anthony Edwards is going to go off. I think he lives for the playoffs. And yes, he's
Yeah,
not
he'll
had
go
much
off the
playoff
court.
experience, but I do expect, I do expect him to go. He probably go for the court when he's celebrating after a monstrous dunk, a dap up a fan or something. But I have him to go off in the playoffs, and I think it's going to be the end of what we see as like KD being a dominant player in the playoff. I think it's going to come to end. That's just my take, my belief. I think the Timberwolves are going to put him down. Uh, Probably send him to a good ophthalmologist. His eyes checked because that sniper is no longer working properly. Yeah, that's my take on it.
Got him, man. Refurbish that scope for you. I could honestly see Cat getting in some foul trouble, but I didn't want to dive too deep into that right now. Um, l- l- a quick look. I don't want to skip it. I don't want to like just go past it too quick. But a quick look in the playing tournament on the right. Off the rip, we see how poor 9 and 10 seed is in the East compared to 9 and 10 seed in the West. Like the records are horrific, if you ask me. But some teams that are already in the playoff tournament don't want to see some of these teams getting there and face against them either way. So, quick predictions or matchup thoughts on 76ers and Heat, and then Bulls and Hawks.
All right. Well, we talk Lakers, Pelicans just now first. Um, we also got the Warriors and Kings to talk about as well. So I'll start with the Heat and the Sixers. This is going to be a tough one to call. Uh, really, really tough. Ultimately, I would go with the Sixers. Um, the Sixers are a totally different team with Joel Embiid. Um, the Heat have not been impressive to me this season. I do not know what I'm going to get from Jimmy Butler on a nightly basis.
Mhm.
Maybe know that it's postseason. Jimmy
This guy,
Butler's identity will be more secure. I would
this guy
hope.
lives.
He,
He lives for the
Jimmy
playoffs.
is a legend in the NBA world, and if that if that player is there and comes out, then that is a different story. But outside of that, seriously though, I think even with playoff Jimmy and effect, Tyrese Maxey has been rejuvenated with Joel Embiid's return. He's been playing some great basketball over the
Yeah.
past since Embiid has been back. I think it's just going to be tough to stop those two guys. I think they're going to have probably the two best players on the court. Bam is going to have his work cut out for him on the defensive end. Uh, my only caveat with the Sixers is Embiid, even though he's been playing reasonably well to his standard, um, I still feel that he hasn't got back into to form. He still seems a little bit sluggish, a little bit slow.
Yeah, his conditioning needs some work.
Yeah, so I don't know how that plays into how big that plays into the playing matchup. Um, but I'd go with the Sixers on this one.
Well, for me, I have to go similar suit just for similar reasons. I just think Embiid being back, this is a different ball team. Therese Maxey's been balling. I the Heat has been inconsistent to me all year round. Playoff Jimmy is a legitimate threat. Let me not say not. Playoff Jimmy is a legitimate threat. But at the end of the game, at the end of the day, I'm still thinking like a 7 day, like a 7 game series. But this is a 1 game sudden death match. No, they study it. All you need is playoff Jimmy for 1 game, for one single game. I'm going Heat. I'm going Heat. Once Jimmy shows up, I need Jimmy to show up, and then he knows to show up at the right time. I believe he's gonna put it through. They're gonna get their 3 pointers firing. Bam is gonna Bam is gonna have to be having an outstanding game. To be honest, he's gonna have to have an outstanding game because Jimmy Butler cannot do it by himself. But
Playoff
yeah,
bomb is a thing too, you know. I
I
hope you.
mean,
I hope.
he he, he steps up. I won't call him playoff Bam yet, but he
Hey,
steps up.
playoff bomb is a thing.
But a 1 game series, I want a well, not a series, but 1 game, so in a death match, I want to take the Heat just for those reasons. At first, I was thinking like a 7 game series, but now 1 game, I want to take the Heat. I think the Heat's going to show up at the right time, and they're going to
Mhm.
surprise the 76ers, and then the 76ers are going to be in a tough position, very tough position, but they should get through against either of those two teams.
all right.
Interesting.
So straight off the bat, tell me who you got for the 9-10 Hawks versus Bulls. If you think,
I want to say
Hawks all day.
do I have to choose a team? 'Cause I feel like these two teams have been poor.
I
But
mean, I don't
I feel
think
like
either the two teams
I,
can get out,
he might
but
go put them in a ball in a hat. Let me just choose one card, but choose one card and see which team is on the card. But I might go with the. I've been. Whew, I go with Hawks just because of Trey Young.
right?
and not the Jonte.
Yeah, those two guys, but Trey Young. But either or, Sixers are still more both of them. So I mean, they're both going home early, and then probably
Yeah,
one of
all
them
of
will
them
probably
going
get
home
traded.
early.
But
A waste of prediction.
so the Sixers going to maul the Bulls or the Hawks. So that's my take on it.
Hmm. Was yours right one?
I think the Bulls are going to win it. I just feel like they have a bigger resiliency factor. Finally, just looking at it from the persona of the team instead of maybe what their record might have been. I
Hmm.
think the Bulls might want it more. Uh, the Bulls have a better defense for sure than the Hawks. Hawks can't guard a lick. Hawks
Hmm.
missing some key players as well too. Um, yeah, I bet on the Bulls, but I am in agreement with Hakeem. Whoever loses that 7 game, I'd expect them to beat whoever wins the 9-10 matchup. But the Bulls for me in the 9-10, if you watch that game they played against the Knicks on Sunday, was a good example of the heart that team still has, even though they've been quite mediocre all season.
I
Um,
think I think they've been mirrored to Bucks. It's just that Bucks come up on top
yeah,
more often than not.
but no, I wouldn't mirror them to Bucks. I feel like I feel like there is more of a fight. I've seen the Bulls fight more than I've seen the Bucks fight. If you get what I'm
Mhm.
saying, I don't know if you understand what I mean
Yeah.
by that. Just in terms of
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
personality of the team, I can't draw them comparisons because I feel like the personalities seem a bit more different. The
Right.
Bulls will lose. The Bulls might have lost a lot, but they might have lost a lot of close games. For example, I feel like the
Hmm.
Bucks lost a lot of games by a lot as well this season. They get punked a lot.
Yeah.
I don't see that in the Bulls persona per se, despite their loss to the Pistons twice this season. Just checking that in there. But remove from that, um, they've been a a team of with heart at least.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So I take them.
And then quickly, Warriors v Kings. My team.
Uh,
Well, one of
this
my
is the
teams, I should
hardest one
say.
of
My
them
team.
all, to be
Not
Yeah,
one
honest.
of
I
them.
would say this one's not easy at all.
This is so difficult.
This is a clash, basically. This is a direct
I
head to head.
Yeah, like I put my money on the Warriors simply because the Kings have been missing and will be missing two key players that are critical or that have been critical for their high end success. Like last season,
Mhm.
Malik Monk and Kevin Herter were super important for them to be the team that they were in the playoffs to take the Warriors to that 7 game down to 7 games in that first round. They don't have those two players. Um, the Warriors have been looking increasingly good over as the regular season came to a close. And the
Mhm.
Kings have been so for the most part. Um, yeah, just on that factor alone, I would say the Warriors will win, and then the obvious possibility of Steph just going bonkers like he did on them. He dropped 50 on them in in the final game last playoffs in game 7. But I
Yeah.
could also say that that might be the Sacramento Kings' motivation to not let the Warriors win as well. So it's tough. It's very tough game to call.
I,
It's the hardest game to call to all.
I agree. I
But
agree.
I go with the Warriors. I give the Warriors the benefit of the doubt in this one because they proved it to me last year and that they could do it.
You everybody going. Well, not everybody. The only reason we saying the Warriors is because we know what the firepower that Steph has. That Steph could go off. If Steph does not go off, we're not gonna give Warriors a chance. And that's the truth. That is the honest to God truth. But I just feel like the Aaron Fox can go off as well too. Maybe not the same,
Agree.
3 point shooting barrage as which is no doubt. But I think he's gonna be explosive enough. I think they're gonna have that defeat last season in the playoffs in their mouth and their that sour taste, and I think they're gonna be really trying. You know what? We can't let this happen again. We have a shot to get redemption, a shot at hopefully advancing to the playoffs. One game does it all. They do have the home court advantage because
Right,
they
I was
are
about to say that. Like,
do have the home court
one thing
advantage.
about it, they have the whole court advantage, and even in that situation, I feel like their backs are against the wall more than the Warriors, in my opinion.
You think they're more against it and pressure?
I mean, in the sense of like they are
War
the ones that
so
the
underdog.
Kings.
They're
I
the
think they
underdog.
are. Yeah, they're still the underdogs to some extent in this specific matchup. I agree. I would put them as the underdogs too because I would probably bet my money on Steph and the Warriors over anything. But I just
And the
feel like
Warriors
those things could be motivators for their success.
and the Warriors
When
knew they were in
when they come.
time seat for a while too, so they could have been resting a game and just
Well, yeah, they
resting
did
up.
because Stephen played the last game.
But they
Stephen
played
played the
the game
last
before
game.
that. They were in time seat locked in for a while actually.
No, he didn't play the game before that. I think I don't think he played the last 2 games, and I
I'm
think
just hoping
Clay, Draymond, and CP3 was out on the Friday night game as well. So they've been getting their rest in between.
I'm hoping that he's into rusty, but my mind tells I'm gonna go with it's hard to bet against Steph, but I just think this is the end of the chapter for the Golden State Warriors. I just think this is the hard reset after this loss. After they go home,
Last dance.
this is having a dance. They just walking at this point in time or crawling. But I got the Kings to put them to drive the nail in the coffin. Hard reset. That hit that power button. We start our laptop. Yeah, this is I got the Kings.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I don't know.
Has you
Yeah,
give any of your picks for these predictions?
yeah. I say, well, not for ninth and time seed in the East because I
Right.
figure it don't make much of a difference to me. But I would say Hawks probably got the edge on Bulls this despite their tenacity.
Mhm.
Um, I just feel like they've come short so often in the regular season, and I don't see why it would be any different this time around. But again, Hawks gonna lose to Heat, so I got 76ers to come out on top in that matchup between 76ers and Heat. And then, like you guys say, like it's so hard to choose between this this matchup between Golden State and Kings because their identities are so similar, and it's the young buck versus the old buck, and the old buck got the experience. Like he's been doing this for so long, but this is not a series game, and we've seen them lose early games in series before. So sometimes Steph needs to warm up. Um, I think I going with De'Aaron Fox and come out fiery, come out firing, and hopefully he got the support to help maintain that throughout the 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 game, I should say, because it's only 1 point
Mhm.
game. So yeah, I think I think Kings got all to play for, and the Warriors just need to hold on as tough as they can. But Kings is my pick for sure to get out of that. And then for the matchup between um Lakers and Kings, I think
I like it.
You're
Warriors
not
and Kings.
Pelicans?
no,
Warriors.
Lakers and Kings because
Oh,
I
Lakers.
got Kings to come
Oh,
out and I got
Okay,
Lakers
okay,
to
okay, okay.
lose. So yeah, I think that's the only rough for Lakers.
also you got Pelicans to
Lakers
win
to
the
lose.
78 game.
Sorry, no, switch it. I got so Lakers
You
going to
got
play Denver
Pelicans.
to lose, but then yeah,
Oh,
Pelicans and I got
and the
in
Kings.
any case I got Kings to get out. I got Kings to play a
Okay.
series
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah. Okay.
So
I got it.
let me just confirm. Let me just confirm. Kings, you got the Kings and the Lakers to
To
go
win a
through.
s- to play a series.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
all right, understood.
Um, in I don't know how much time we want to spend on this. Maybe just some quick fire answers. But
All right.
Rayvon, who you got to? Well, who in the league, whether team or player, has the most to lose in this postseason?
Yeah, if quick for you, I say the Celtics be one of my picks for that. The Celtics have been, the poster child of being there so much but not getting it done. I think
Yeah.
they really need to. If let's say, for instance, they lose in the conference finals again, there's going to be a whole discourse about what they need to do next because if they feel, well, especially Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown specifically, those two players, and it feels like they've been there for so long but never got it done. Yes, they know they're still young, but with a historic season on the belt, an MVP caliber season from Jason Tatum, they still haven't got it done. And there's a lot of
Mhm.
questions that's going to come out to that. Player ways, Carl Anthony Towns. Not just because I'm a Wolves fan, but just in general. Um, Wolves have had great success this season. The word out on Carl Anthony Towns is that he has been a poor playoff performer, and
Mm-hmm.
he now has to go and try to debunk that as much as he can because you don't have any excuse now. You got one of the best teams in the league, top five team in the league. You should be able to go there in the playoff and show it and move past the first round, and be a positive or no a big contributing factor to why the Wolves make it far in the playoffs. So he is another one. If that doesn't happen, he has. I think his reputation is going to be super duper tarnished. And then I'd say the Clippers, big three or big four, however you want to look at it. Just the Clippers on a whole. The Clippers on
Mm-hmm.
a whole, in the sense of it's been maybe like 4 years now that they've been trying to get this stuff done, um,
Yeah.
and spending a bunch of money. Steve Ballmer spending a bunch of money to get this stuff done, and it still hasn't happened. Going into the luxury tax year after year, um, they got to do something. They got to get further than they've been. They got to stay healthy. Kawhi's been out for the past couple of games. I presume because you haven't heard anything about it that he'll be ready to go against Luca and the Mavs, Luca Kyrie and the Mavs. But they got a crazy test right out the gap, and
Ah.
if they fail at it again, we see a season where everybody talking about, oh, the Clippers are the favorites to win. All the all the betting sites got the Clippers as the overall favorites and stuff like that. And yet again, they fall short of it. That'll be like the third or fourth year that's happened. Um,
Yeah.
I just think it'd just be a super bad look on the Clippers as a team and the collective that they've assembled over these past 4 years. Individually, Westbrook Westbrook hasn't won a ring yet. Paul George hasn't won a ring yet. Harden hasn't won a ring yet. And Harden, more so than each of those players, has been highly scrutinized for his playoff performances. He's going to have the NBA world breathing down his neck if he doesn't perform this postseason. I mean, there's not as much pressure as him as he was as there was when he was in the Sixers uniform, or in
Yeah.
the Nets uniform to some extent, because of the players that he have around him. But they still need him to step up in a phenomenal way for them to have real, true success. So him and Paul George and Westbrook are going to have plays on them because of their lack of postseason glory. So that's just my three picks for most to lose in the playoffs.
Nice. Decent. Hakim, anything from you?
My
Any
I would
agreements,
say
disagreements? Mhm.
I would say yeah for sure, most definitely. My most to lose is gonna mirror Rayvon's some of his selections to a certain extent, but in no particular order. But I would say the Celtics have definitely have to be in there. I know I've said time and time again, the Celtics right now are this team that they're judged by a championship. If they don't win, that means they bust. Plain and simple. This dynamic duo between Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown has been going on for years now, since 2018, 2017. They've been making it to Eastern Conference Finals with relative ease, I would say, but they're just not winning. So I think they have a lot to lose. If they lose, are they going to dismantle the unit? I don't think so. You never know, but it just gets monotonous right now. They get there, they lose. They get there, they lose. They break it through to the finals, then they lose. It's like, when are they ever going to win? And this is like the third straight season that they've been trying a new, like they've been consistently trading a point guard. Some player they trade away Marcus Smart. They got Drew Holiday. They got Porzingis. Before they had Malcolm Brogdon. They traded him. They traded him away. They had another player before too. I can't remember who they had a couple seasons before. Uh,
Kyrie,
but Curry was a way back. But they had a player that they actually
um,
got far in the playoffs with, that they keep trading before Malcolm Brogdon. I think it's before Malcolm. They just experiment. Oh, that's when they changed coaches. They changed coaches.
hmm,
Put a
Mm.
Brad Pitt in the head in the front office. They brought in the other coach. they're
Brad Stevens.
experimenting. Not sorry, Brad
Brad Pitt
Stevens.
relate to me. Brad Stevens loved to be called Brad Pitt. You know, he was small hearing that right
Uh,
now.
Brad Stevens. Sorry, my bad. Show the Brad Pitt though.
I thought that was on purpose. I thought actually, I swear that was
But
on purpose, bro.
Brad
Uh,
Stevens, so they're consistently experimenting and trying to get this team to get a ring, and it's been failing every year. Not that they've been a failing team. They just the ultimate goal has not been materialized. So the Celtics for sure, they have a lot to lose. The Clippers once again have to be in that category. Uh, the more Clippers were supposed to win this championship since 2020. We're 4 years
Exactly.
accounting.
That's a bubble. Yeah.
we're four we're 4 years accounting, and they've not gone any closer than when they traded half their team for Paul George and Kawhi, right?
Mhm.
So I mean, they just right now the NBA must be loving this team. They just giving them money, luxury tax after year. Give me give me this money. Like you want to spend it, spend it. It's like the Clippers need a champ. They need a ring. They're similar to the Celtics before the results. They've not been getting that far. Their best performance is the Western Conference Final, where they still lost, but they need a ring for all this star power. Harden, Russell Westbrook, Paul George, Kawhi. It's unheard of, right? This is legendary star power. They got about technically two
honestly,
MVPs.
though, two of those guys haven't been in the talks of
Nah,
star power for the
Russell's been
last
playing.
two.
No. Russell's been playing well. Russell's been playing well. Harden
Yeah,
stepped up,
but
and
yeah,
Kawhi and
but
Paul
that's
George.
not the same Russell that you're referring to when you say
Different
star
team,
power.
different team. You can't
Neither
really
for
see,
Harding. That's not the same Harding that you're
but
referring to when you
the
say star
firepower
power.
still exists. When called upon, it still exists. They can still get you results. They still know how to play the game. Star
I'm
power
not
is still a
convinced.
star. Cause KD's not the same, but hey, but for me, Clippers definitely they have a lot to lose. Then they're gonna put
KD
it.
had a
Then
rough go, but KD
then
was in the
talk
trenches
about
by himself for
KD.
a long time.
KD is normally next most to lose because he's not done anything since the Warriors. He wasn't much before the Warriors in terms of his playoff runs. He needs a win. He has a fresh team, a loaded team. It's his second loaded team. Think when you think about it, right? He was on the Brooklyn Nets, all that with Kyrie and Harden. Like I actually would take that trio over his current trio, in my opinion. Yeah, I would. So and he got nothing out of it. And now to go to the Suns, like you look back in history, you look back if 10 we age 20 years from now, we look back and say, yo, and you talk to your son, and say, yo, KD played with Devin Booker and Bradley Beal. I got no rings. Oh my god. Play with these are the things you say, what was he doing? What was he doing, Grandpa? Like what happened there, right? You just can't believe it, right? So he has a lot to lose. The man has to get a ring. He has to get far in this playoff run, or he's uh, bum. Next player
What?
for me, Embiid. Embiid is not getting any younger. Embiid is 30 years old, and every other season, back spasm, ankle injuries,
Knee
well,
injury.
some knee injury, some sort of injury, stomach problems. The man is not eating. You traded Ben Simmons. I got rid of Ben Simmons after one bad game because you know what? He costs you a championship. He costs you a ring. And Embiid is not getting younger. We need to trade with Ben Simmons because Embiid says so basically, right? That's long and gone. That's history. You got more players. Embiid is not getting any younger. If Embiid doesn't gets bounced again by the second round, you can't trade away Embiid, but you have to wonder, am I going to get anything with the Embiid? Is he going to be one of those historically great players who never got a ring? Because it's not looking likely right now. I don't care who tell me like it's not looking likely, and he has a lot to lose. He's not getting younger. He's not advancing in playoffs. He's doing well in the during the season, but at the end of the day, he's getting injured time and time again at the worst times to be safe. At the worst times, there's no reason the 76ers should be a seventh seed. that's purely Embiid's fault. I'm gonna put that right there as Embiid's fault. Not his fault. He got injured, but he got injured, and it's not his fault that the team is in seventh place. Right. So for me, Embiid has a lot to lose, and that's my four picks: Clippers, Celtics, KD, and Embiid.
Well, you can say it's not Embiid fault. He get injured, but it's still his fault. I mean,
He has to hold the
You made
blame.
me
you
laugh.
either
He, it's not his fault he got injured. He didn't choose to injure himself intentionally. But now he has been injured intentionally or unintentionally, and inadvertently, the blame is gonna go on him. Because if he wasn't injured, this team would not be a seventh seed. He got injured when they
oh
were the
he was
second
supposed
or third seed.
so so you're saying that he should have been
Is
doing something
something
better to
with
take
his
care of his
nutrition.
body
It's something with
then?
his nutrition, his workload, his body. I don't care what the reason is. The fact that this is a pattern, he's like a broken record. You're playing a PlayStation 2, and you guaranteed, at some point in the game it's gonna stick at this exact same point, time and time again. You could be playing, it's gonna stick there. He's like guaranteed he's gonna get injured at the worst time, like guaranteed. Call a season he was injured. I don't know. I don't think that season that exists. The man is going to get injured at clockwork. He calls his team. He's in the playing tournament right now because who? Because he got injured. Second or third seed straight to the playing tournament. And I predicted it, by the way. Let the record know I predicted that.
I can't say injury is that cut and dry, to be honest. Especially not the type of injuries that he has had. Um, like a good example of this is like Anthony Davis. And Davis has had the best season
He's a problem too.
he's had.
He's a problem too. He in the same
I
category.
understand, but I think there's always a nick not with Anthony Davis. I feel like with Embiid is usually something that puts him up for a long time. With Anthony Davis is like, oh, I got this thing paining me right here. I can't really play it right now. Yada yada yada. He get out for 2 games and then he back. And then the next 4 games he can be out and then he back. Like that type of roller coaster. I feel like with Embiid, he's been if he had an injury, it's probably something actually super serious and he need to be out for extended times in most of the
So they
cases.
need to watch his load management. They
But
need to
yeah,
do something better. The organization is failing him. Something is not working.
yeah,
But
something
all
ain't
in all,
working
he
for sure.
has a lot to lose.
Fair. I mean,
Mhm.
y'all talk all that talk, but I think the people that got the most to lose is the defending champs. Weren't
Nah.
able to. I think they do. A- Anytime you defend a champ, you got the most inadvertently. So, like
Yeah, at least
you're the
they got
champ.
the ring. They got the
You
ring.
have,
Everybody we
yeah,
called don't have a
exactly.
single ring yet. Everybody
And
we
just
called
gonna say
don't have
like
a ring.
to
They
be
got the
honest,
ring.
I can't say so. Yeah, them men got
Hey,
been fresh off a ring. To be honest, I can't say
hey,
that thought.
Clippers don't have a ring. Celtics don't have a ring right now, as in the current cohort of Celtics players. KD, well, he has a ring, yes. He's the exclusion. But he's not wearing a ring. He's not won a ring where anyone can say he's earned it per se. He played well in the finals with Golden State, yes, but he joined the 73 and 19. That beat him. So he's always gonna have that, asterisk. NBA has no ring. He's never made it to NBA finals. So I mean, Nuggets to me, they Gucci. They lose, they be like, ah, damn, we lost. But
Next
they
year,
know deep,
nah.
they know deep down, I got that ring. I got that ring.
I don't think them can take this lightly at all. But
right? But all right.
that's
So
that's
what
that's
about
just
them
my
losing would? Hmm, I just trying to figure out what about them losing would be. Like they're the most recent winners. I don't see how they're
Mhm.
losing would. We could see them losing may come as a surprise because right now they're the favorites to win, for example.
They
But I
got
don't think they have
arguably
that
the
much to
best
lose.
duo in the league. Right now, they got arguably the best duo in the league and the best support system in the league. They like they have to win. It's not like they're favorites just for saying that they're favorites because they won last time. It's like they legit have the best team in the league. They've had some games where it's been questioned. I know the first part of the season was pretty shaky, and then they've warmed up and figured it out, and then they've been on a pretty decent roll since. but there's still some questions there that needs to be answered, and I think they need to have a good showing. If they go early, like honestly, that's not going to be a good look for the defending champs. They have to be the in the conference finals, and they at least they have to get there. But based on the teams that got a lot to gain, I will say is like they, in my opinion, have the most to lose. That's
I
that's just me.
I
Like
ain't
I
saying
don't
that,
know.
Hans. To be honest, I did as the most recent reason as the most recent winners. If you come out, let's say they will have a lot to lose. Well, it will look bad for them to come and lose in the first round, for example. But I don't feel like the pressure. Yes, the pressure is on them to win, but I feel like there are a lot more teams and a lot more players out there that the pressure is infinitely greater because of the history that they've had. The
Mhm.
Nuggets' history is one of success in terms of recency. So I can't see why people why would why would say that they have the most to lose per se. To be honest, because it's still a young team. Number one, it's not a case where like Kawhi and them there these men getting old. They haven't got much left of them. Still a young team. So even
Mhm.
if they lose this year, they could come back again. They got probably like another 4 or 5 years. Jamal Murray and Jokic. Uh,
Mhm.
so I can't see it as a case where they have anything to lose because of their recent success. The Celtics, for example, is a flip side of that story.
Mhm.
They are a young team. They still got a lot of years left, but their lack of success in big moments has been, you know, one of the
Has been
one
put
of
in
the
a
talking points. Yeah,
yeah, has been
you know,
cast in the
yeah,
shadow
put
of
them in a
their
bad light. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Right, yeah, you can put it about casting a shadow over there,
abilities or
over
the
there,
able to get it done.
yeah, like, over their success. And that is the biggest question for them. So I could see if that shadow gets darker because they come and lose in the first round or the second round. No, no, or even the Western Conference Finals, then they got the most to lose from the public's point of view of what the perception of that specific team is. I don't think the people are. I don't think if the Nuggets lose a series, it's going to be a series that they get destroyed in number one. And if whoever beats them, the people are going to say whoever beat them, it was, I think they would deserve because they know the Nuggets are one of the best teams in the league. So I'm with you there on that one, Hans.
I don't know, man. I get what you're saying, but I can stand on mine.
All
I,
right, not easy.
ye- yeah, I ain't convinced. I think because of their status as that team, I I think that they're expected to win. To be honest,
Okay.
but anyways,
Mhm.
moving on to who's got the most to gain.
Um, off the bat, I just think like we keep talking about all of the big stars and the big names in the NBA, on their way out. LeBron, KD, Steph. Um, oh man, I guess we could put Kawhi in that category to some extent. Like all of the faces of the NBA on the way out, and the young thoroughbreds no gonna come out and make a name for themselves. So I think young stars in the league, more specifically Anthony Edwards, SGA, Jalen Brunson, those type of players know have the most to gain from playoff success um, in this postseason in the NBA. Pretty much just for that reason, they gotta start somewhere. They gotta beat some of these. they gotta beat some of these old guys to kind of start the ball rolling to usher in the new age or the new era. So
Mhm.
that's my main pick for who's got the most again.
How about you,
Uh,
Hafi?
I would say right now, based on me, I see the Knicks. She had a single player, Jalen Brunson, but really and truly, just the Knicks as a whole as an organization.
Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
no one really count. No one really outside of unless you're a Knicks fan, nobody
Unless it's
believes.
Stephen A. Smith.
Yeah, no one believes in Knicks to go anywhere, right? So I think if the Knicks can actually advance to the finals and win it all, I think, or even make a good deep playoff run, but it has to be an Eastern Conference final at the bare minimum. I think that could do so much for the organization as a whole. Other than that team, Jalen Brunson, by extension, I'm gonna go with the Timberwolves. Just for a similar situation, they've been utterly poor in playoffs the last couple of years. Well, I think they made the playoffs for I think maybe the first time, if not last year, the year before. I think it was last year that they had who was that guy, Patrick
Oh,
Beverly,
was
on their
it?
team. It was last year
Was
or was it the
the
year
year
before?
before?
Year
The
before.
year before.
So I mean, like Timberwolves have not been doing well, but they've been balling. They have a better team. Man has arrived. Anthony Towns seems to be rejuvenated. So I think they have a lot to gain. They have a lot to prove. I think they have a way it takes to go pretty far. They have a very big test and something to to as a I guess to add on from what everyone said. If they could beat the Suns, which is basically a team full of old heads in my opinion, minus Devin
Mhm.
Booker's on the
Yeah,
he's in the in
young
between.
say. Yeah,
He
yeah.
ain't young to say, but he's been around
But
for a while.
yeah.
But if Timberwolves could definitely knock off the Suns, that's basically saying, yo, this young team has arrived. They've knocked off the old edge. They've ushered in a new era. So definitely Timberwolves, they have a lot to gain and to prove. And by that, and then on that same note, I have to say the Thunder, just because the Thunder is, as you said, the second youngest team in the NBA, currently number one seed. They've won the number one seed, which no one really had them to win it. A hard fought seeding. They beat the Nuggets for number one. Everybody was saying Nuggets were miles ahead. The Nuggets were so good that they could just turn it on just like that, which they can. But at the end of the day, they beat the Nuggets for the number one seed. So the Thunder have to prove they have a lot to prove because at the end of the day, to win the number one seed and get bounced the first round is like is no that's a top tier embarrassment. That's a top tier L served from a Michelin served by a Michelin star chef, right? That's an L for the ages. So they have a lot to prove. And those are my three teams, for sure that they have to prove. They have a lot to prove and a lot to gain in this playoff series, playoff season, I should say.
Mhm.
Cool, cool. I have Dallas as my pick for most to gain. I think
Yeah, that's nice.
Luca. Say again.
No, no, go ahead.
Yeah, I think the everybody had questions about Luca and Kyrie pairing, and they showed us that they got what it takes on the offensive end. And as the season moved along, slowly but surely, they pulled the team together with them as well. And I think that the entire team grew. And I think in this playoff um, year, they can go places, and they have to prove that. So, with that regard, I think they have the most to gain to showcase their talent and showcase that the pick was worth it. And um, I guess this will also be a very nice redemption story for Kyrie as well, because a lot of
Mhm.
people
Yeah.
called him out. Um, a lot of people had a lot to say ab- about him, that he should retire and all these different kind of comments. But he's hung in there. He's worked hard, and we've seen some crazy highlights over the season. And I just think that this Dallas team can and should prove a lot in the playoffs. So that's my lonely, lonesome pick
All
for
right, I like that though.
the team to
Easy.
gain. Um, Rayvon, you want to take us into the next few
Well,
things just to
well,
finish up?
you just mentioned we were just wanted to mention some of the most intriguing decided matchups, and why we say decided specifically is because we're still waiting on the playing games to finish to figure out who the one and the two seed in both conferences are playing. But we know we got
Mhm.
3-6 versus um 3-6 in the West is Wolves versus Suns. uh, 4 or 5 in the West, which was decided a little bit. We talked about it last week. Um, Clippers versus Mavs, and then in the East we have uh, Cavs
Bucks
versus
Pacers.
Magic. Yeah, and then Bucks Pacers as 3-6 in the East. So just get an idea from you guys. Just quickly, what you think of those matchups are the most intriguing? And if you want to say away, you could say away. Just quickly.
I think most of the way was discussed earlier, but I honestly
Yeah,
think Bucks and Pacers would be for me the most intriguing,
yeah,
considering there's no defense. There's a questionable Giannis and
hmm
Dame, who we could probably say got a lot of lose given that he's on a different so-called better team now.
hmm
Should be able to get a little farther, you know. So I would say Bucks and Pacers. I think it's going to be a head-to-head maestro matchup on the point guard end. Who's going to steer their team better will come out on
yeah.
top.
All right.
For
What
me,
about you, House?
I would say the similar Clippers and Mavs and Timberwolves and Suns. We've already discussed those series. I don't
Mm.
think there's any other series already uh, find intriguing. Bucks and Pacers yet to a certain extent, but I just find the Clippers and Mavs they have their history through the last couple of playoff seasons, and the Suns and the Bulls. We
Mhm.
just discussed that for sure, most definitely.
Yeah,
So those are my two
yeah,
fixtures.
yeah. Well, for me, the Suns and the Wolves, of course, as we as I explained earlier, like I'm just interested to see what the step is going to be because I don't think the Wolves are going to be as bad as people think they will be. And for
Mhm.
I have the Bucks and Pacers as well. Just as you mentioned, the history for the regular season in season tournament, um, the whole thing with Giannis and the game ball and the Pacers, with Giannis running in the
Yeah,
main
I
locker room,
forgot
all
about
that
that a little
stuff.
bit too.
Um,
Yeah.
Giannis, as you say, pending Giannis is pending health on the series. DM struggles, I would say to some extent. It's just got a lot of stuff in that series. Tyrese's Halliburton struggles as well.
Yeah.
Pascal Siakam's integration into the Pacers team, how that is going to impact the playoffs. Like, I think that's a very intriguing matchup. Doc Rivers and his questionable um, impact on coaching so far for the Bucks, like that is one of the more intriguing ones. So pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
Um, Bucks, Bucks, Pacers, Suns, Wolves.
Not that you mentioned Pascal, like this thought just came to mind, like how quickly that
Mhm.
championship team from Toronto got dismantled. Like
Vanish. Yeah.
it's like
Oh,
crazy
that's
now that
Kawhi.
everybody's gone. Yeah.
hmm
Everybody just
That's Kawhi.
anyways. Yeah. Anything extra you guys want to mention? I know F1 coming up this weekend. I actually
Yeah, got
thought
Phoenix
that
Grand Prix.
F1 would have been, yeah, I thought F1 would have been last weekend. I was so disappointed when I checked back. It's like, oh shoot, there's no F1. But yeah, Chinese Grand Prix coming up, so we'll see how that goes when the time comes.
Wait, no. Let me mention that quick. You see, I saw a video on ESPN sometime. I don't know if it was today or yesterday with Carlos Sainz driving in a like a go in this
Just-
little go kart thing. I don't know if you saw it.
Nah, I didn't see it.
Just with
I didn't
regular
see it.
people.
I'll probably check it out.
Yeah, just regular people say she Emma. I mean, Hassan man,
I know it's
how he
some
good,
community service.
But I guess so.
Oh,
I don't know what you would call it, but maybe it was just for fun. It was
right.
on a break, so on a little break, so maybe it's just for fun. He went from last
Yeah.
to first in this little go karting thing, so it was interesting to see the skill difference even in the go kart versus
Yeah,
regular
boy.
people. So
You gotta keep the skills sharp. Keep the skills sharp.
yeah, man.
I wouldn't have let
But
he
yeah,
pass
that's.
me though. That didn't happen at all.
But the thing is, I doubt anybody knew that was Carlos Sainz
Oh, it
until
was one of
after.
those
Yeah,
things.
yeah, yeah,
You see, where you get to realize who the person is afterwards. You're
yeah.
like,
Correct.
no,
Mhm.
that's cool. I should
Yeah, man.
probably check for that as well. But yeah,
Yeah, it's actually, man. Mm.
if there's no other comments about this postseason, upcoming postseason, Let me get locked in, fellas. Let me see what the
Yep.
outcome will be. Um, it's gonna be exciting. That's for sure. First, we got the planes, the one-off games to see who gets in. We'll see who come out on top. But wait, I got one more thing to mention.
Hmm.
Who's the prediction king for the
Oh
regular
yeah.
season?
Oh, we must study. Oh, all
I got
right.
behind. No, I think it's Ray,
Yeah,
man. Ray, boy.
no, it wasn't me. No, it was in. It was last me.
No, but you,
Right,
but you, but you had a
Italy.
good. You had. I remember I was keeping
Rice,
track. But you lost. I lost. I made a bet. Liquors cost me about 3 points on somebody, and then yeah, it
Right, I
wasn't
can
looking
open
good.
any prediction thing.
bro. Look,
So
I
the
just want to say that I didn't have enough time to do my arts and craft, but I would have, I would have come with a crown today, just to show that.
all right. So
Proud of
I
myself.
so Hans
Proud of myself.
ended Hans ended the prediction season with 39 points. Um, I had 30, and Hakim had 29. Hakim, you end up losing that
Yeah,
last week. Kill you, boy.
yeah, it really
Yeah,
is.
You
he
lose.
was, he was so all for that. You know,
You only
It's a
get
risk.
you.
go big or go home.
You
Yeah,
take
fair
risk.
Um,
enough.
The
You only
Lakers,
get
the,
intensity.
1 point.
The Lakers cost me, and
As
I think,
always,
as well the
I
Timberwolves.
Yeah, the Timberwolves cost me too.
yeah,
So
yup. Y'all lost the biggest matchup,
but
which
we
is
got a
tough.
fresh set of playoffs, playoff predictions going on. Those coming up.
Yeah,
But so by Saturday we should be getting those in. Or by there's between Saturday and Monday because the first games, for some matchups are already set for Saturday and Sunday. Um,
yeah.
so yeah. But shout out to
Let's
the prediction king for the regular season. Let me put out there the regular season
hey,
prediction king.
appreciate it, bro.
There's so much
Appreciate
more
it.
basketball left to be played. There's so many more predictions to be made. There can always be more than one king in this realm. So we can see what
Hey,
happens this starts.
this is my realm. Yeah.
Ah,
Well, that's it for this week, folks. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. If you did, give it a like, let the Astro Bros know that you here and you enjoying what we putting out. And with that, we will see you later, family. Thanks for joining Astro World. We'll see you next week.
yes,
Peace.
sir.
Blessings.